Hey guys.
I'll watch something
So we're
ridiculous
gonna do
on
some live
TikTok.
painting real quick.
Because again, it's so out of the realm
Enjoy.
of realistic, and it's just a big ridiculous show.
I love how you guys love these live things. So
Yeah, I know it's Typhon. Did
it's
everyone
kind of
know it was
easy
Typhon and they just
to
didn't tell me?
just get it all started.
I don't think.
See, I always hate kind of opening these. It's such like a tiny, little
I bet they
nervous
all
thing.
knew Typhon was there waiting
Because I
for
don't
me
want
and
to
just didn't
wreck
say
it.
something. And I'm very mad about
My
it.
wife is streaming right now, so
Hello.
you're gonna hear her stream going on while this is going on. So what I normally use is like a palette knife,
Right.
and then I like cut them out.
That's what I'm talking about.
I worry about like ripping a good page. These things are so expensive that it's just kind of one of those things. I'd be real sad if I ripped it. You know? I'd be real sad.
Oh, it's nice.
So I had this idea for this painting earlier today. So I want to start it.
It's going much better than the last one.
Side note, people who ask. Warm water, cold water. It all kind of works when you try to do stuff.
I killed that poor driver for no reason.
Let
I feel like I
that
did
soak.
kind of
Let that soak in the hot. It just kind of makes them soft a little bit. And go from there.
Thank you. I could use more magic.
My mother right now is doing arts and crafts. So that's kind of funny. She's very proud of it, but also very like nervous about it, which is kind of interesting. So, I don't know. It is what it is. But
Give me the magic.
I don't know that I really get nervous about this stuff anymore. Like I know how it's gonna turn out.
Oh, there's a whole bunch of fellers
kinda look
over
like
here that I just
Exactly what it looks like. I don't really get nervous about that
This
aspect.
color, not what I have right now.
Pro tip: keep your coffee off of your space. You will dip your brush in it, and then it's real nasty. I've drank a lot of ink water in my time. There's probably something wrong with me now. Oh, yeah. I gotta remember
That's something else.
to show my sponsor. There we go.
Not stars,
Bam.
not Celine.
I can go back to this. Okay.
Speaking of the moon, that's another show that used to give me, funnily enough, that used to give me secondhand anxiety. Sailor Moon, when we got to the part, did you just leave trash everywhere? Okay.
I think you have to do like small brushes if
Well,
you're
then I hope you enjoy that.
not doing small features.
When Sailor Moon got to the, spoilers for people who don't know a lot about Sailor Moon and are worried about spoilers. When they got to the arc where Sailor Moon, I think where, what's her name? I'm gonna say it wrong because I don't remember what her name is outside of the American dub that was bad and inaccurate and said everybody was cousins. But when the little girl showed up in the original American dub, her name was Rini. When Rini showed up, they had this whole arc that for whatever reason, Sailor Moon and Tuxedo Mask had to like break up. Like he wouldn't tell her why, and there was like a specific reason. Like he was trying to save her from something, but it was just like I remember as like a preteen teenager being like, why can't they just communicate? Why does it have to be like this? And I was just so stressed out from
Too
watching that
close.
show. I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
You can watch.
Also,
You can look
I
at
know
what
that
I'm
she was
doing.
supposed to be like an airhead and somebody who like, hey, you need to be more responsible because you know you're supposed to be the savior or whatever. And like, it's very much in line with, even though it wasn't quite shonen, it's very in line with like shonen anime for boys and stuff. Like that's marketed toward boys anyway. With that whole like, I'm a big whiny person, but somehow I'm gonna become the savior of everybody. I get that like the whole point is that they're like persevering but also kind of weak and unprepared and scared and whiny and stuff like, but I didn't like how with Sailor Moon when she was like that they were really mean to her, and it all just stressed me out. I'm like, those are her friends, why are they calling her names? It just gave me so much stress, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess I know why now because it's not fun to watch that all the time. But I was like, yeah, they're really mean to her, and I don't like when they're supposed to be her friend and they're mean to her like that. It just made me really uncomfortable. So I think after a while I gave up. Like they would kill people in Dragon Ball Z, and that would make me like, oh no, they killed a character I like. But on top of being able to wish everyone back, it wasn't like I felt any kind of like emotional turmoil from Dragon Ball Z outside of like arcs where they could kill people. Like, oh no, they might kill a character I like, but at least his friends aren't gonna call him names, and he's not gonna have romantic trouble because it's a boys' anime. So no one's gonna have issues with being in love. Like, oh, they killed Krillin for the 15th time? That's okay. He'll be back. Poor Krillin. Don't call me babe. You're not good like that. These guys are big. Oh, hello, Tom. Blocking out my light sources. Tom is the true boss, but of my life. And I can't defeat him because he's adorable. Whoa, 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 whoa. Cool it.
So it's in because I gotta let it dry for a little bit. So in the meantime, just back you up a little bit. How's it going? What's new?
Yeah.
I can drink this because my ink brush is in my hand, so I'm not gonna accidentally pour it into my
Yeah.
coffee, which
it's
is
weird,
gross.
Like, no, I don't want to say weird. It's interesting.
What's everybody up to?
Certain fictions can
Say
like,
hi.
really, really hit you in an unexpected place.
Mm.
I think even still to this day, thinking about like that storyline.
So I've been meaning to do one of these lives for a while again. You guys like them a lot. I haven't quite figured out how to film them though, so I'm still working on that. I had this weird idea about like this heart that was like part of a face. So like I'm doing a lot of the ink washing right now, but I'm gonna do more as it dries. And then it's really about layers. Like you kind of have to keep doing everything. And then after I do that, then I'm gonna do all these crazy details to it.
Yeah.
But I kind of need to build it
In
first.
case I can't change it.
Because there's always like this fear that when you try to do, when you're trying to do like,
I'm just getting ready to
all right.
fight a big
I have this fear that when you're trying to do like ink washes initially, before you put all the details in, like it just kind of gets like messed up.
As I've stated, is
So
validly not on the
kind of is how it is.
side.
Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Very cool. You know, life is going on, man. You remind me of Eric Coston if he was chill and did art.
Fight his captors. I don't know.
Thanks.
Betrayal.
Maybe. I guess. I'm not really sure who that is, but that sounds nice. It feels like a compliment, so I'm gonna take it.
But yeah, I am hoping that
No, we're just chilling
kind of,
while I paint. That's all. Nothing crazy.
moment of realizing that maybe she's not on the right side of this.
He was a pro skater, early 2000s. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out where I knew him from, but I couldn't remember. So the chill thing about doing layers
this is not a common
is you
thing, and I'm
have
not
to
gonna go
kind of let stuff dry first, to an extent, so that it's like in there, and then you can come back with like darker layers, lighter layers, etc. But it's kind of just a process. Like you gotta build them.
That sounds lovely.
So I always like to try and build the darker layer first.
But there was a movie I was
Then
watching,
you
and I
kind
had
of go from there.
before.
And it looks like it's gonna be really dark, but then it's not.
I think the only time I'll like maybe do like a trigger warning check or spoiler things if they hurt an animal, because I'm not really down with that. I happen to, unfortunately, this is very old spoilers if you haven't seen this movie, I'm sorry, but I happen to unfortunately see I Am Legend the week after my dog in real life had passed away.
So my wife's doing doing her show too. Do you meditate? Yeah.
So you know,
of course,
like,
man.
does the dog die?
Whole world should be meditating.
To see if, like,
should be super chill.
and sometimes even with, like, some
It's just better for you.
stuff, I'm okay.
I say this is a person who gets aggravated and angry all the time about stuff.
Yeah, Billy.
It's a good idea to meditate. Meditating is like, I don't know, it's real beneficial. Fairly essential, actually.
I love horror movies.
I don't do it often, but I do it.
But everybody has their things. I went to see one
I think
that I really
it's
liked, but it was
important to just find that chillness
this one
that you're
scene
going for.
It wasn't so much that it was nothing graphic happened. It was just someone like definitely was being kind of held captive against their will kind of thing. But it was just the way it was presented and how the character, the bad character in the scene was speaking. And
A lot of times I like to kind of, oh wow, you read through the whole thing.
Expecting that, like the scenes that were probably supposed to be more intense or frightening.
I started visiting my family in Japan and do a lot of meditational things. My grandpa died many years ago. Ever morning.
This person was going to be bad. It was just again the way
That's him going.
I wasn't ready for it. And I'm not expecting every movie or every like.
In America, we don't have anything since
so like, hey, just
sentimental like that.
I couldn't describe or predict how.
I feel like we.
Could affect me.
I feel like there are certain cultures in America that very much do, and then there are other cultures in America that very much don't. And it's kind of, it's surprising sometimes which ones are, less than it is the ones that aren't. Oh, I watch this dying. Whatever. I don't care. No, I just think sometimes, you know, it's surprising to people how all that goes. I definitely had like a lot of family who were who did a lot of traditions for like the elderly in our family, greetings and whatnot. And it was interesting. A lot of incense, a lot of tea, feeding each other was a really big way of telling you they loved you. So you always tried to kind of bring them something sweet to enjoy, even though half of them were like diabetic and probably shouldn't have had it.
And that's a bummer.
But you never know.
Not as,
I think it's kind of, like I said, it falls less on some cultures and more on others. I think it's important. It's always nice to tap into your family's culture and learn the traditions. Yeah, sometimes though you don't learn them till after they're gone, which is kind of crappy, but it's how it works out sometimes, you know.
It's just, it's a bummer though. I'm just like,
Like I can say that like with my own family, a lot of the things weren't necessarily passed on. So there's a lot of it lost as people passed away. So some of us are kind of learning it, while others of us are maybe moving away from it.
Yeah, give me a thumb.
And the ones who want to learn it have to make it a point to teach the next generation.
She just threw shade on her own.
And typically the ones who say they don't want to know eventually do though.
She said, my dad didn't do all that much. Dang, girl. I mean, you lived in his head. Far be it for me to say anything.
I also don't believe in the idea of like white. I think white is made up because nothing is really white. It's things are kind of different facets of brown and pink. And even pink is really kind of a facet of brown
More money, more
to me.
birthday.
As a person who mixes colors.
Probably gonna regret that. I should have got more money.
How you're doing now reminds me. How dare you? My cat tried to steal my masks. How dare him? How fucking dare him?
Oh no, that horrible.
It's messed up, Tom. It's not cool, man.
Get out of here.
Sorry. Let me see. What you're doing right now reminds me of those Buddhists at the shrines in Japan who make kanji on the spot. Yeah, I went to Japan a very long time ago, and I know exactly what you mean. It was an experience. It is sumi ink, though, so in that aspect, you're not completely off base about it. Some of them have immaculate calligraphy. Calligraphy. Yeah, honestly, I mean, there's something. The art of making ink, like grinding and creating ink to then use, is probably one of the greatest things I used to do. I haven't done it in a long time because I just haven't had the ability to do it. But I'm very happy that with Yasatomi inks, cheap plug. No, I like their sumi ink really well. That's kind of how I ended up picking them to work with at one point in time. Put my hair out of the way before I get ink in my hair again. Which has happened quite a bit. Do you do any photography for your inspiration? I have. I definitely have. I have I'll show you my camera. So this is my Nikon. I don't remember which one this one is. G35 100. It's 1,000, 3,500. I bought this on my birthday when I turned 30, and I think it was like came with two sets of lenses, and you've got a that's awesome.
Or I'm broke, which is my own fault, but like.
Oh, I always wanted an L35 AF. I've got like a big box of them that I haven't ever really. I've used, but I haven't used too often. I was traditionally, when I went to school, they taught us how to develop film. So I used to use film cameras more than anything, and then as time went by, I started using more like digital because it was easier to kind of manage.
I just had somebody shouting in my ear.
Oh hey, there's ours.
Metalocalypse comes to mind. I don't know
Um,
if anyone here is.
and yeah, so it just kind of
There's one
came
scene
together
where
with it.
someone's,
Of
grabbing
course,
somebody
my
and
screen protector is cracked
it's a whole deal.
because they crack all the time, but my screen's not cracked, so
Doesn't
that's
April
kind of the
show in
main thing.
Baltimore? Man, I am not paying attention.
I'm working on
That might be doable for me. I don't know.
letting it dry, honestly. It's not as exciting as it should be. Let me see. Yeah, I agree with film is fun, but digital is so much more convenient. Yeah, it's just there's that whole thing of trying to. I love developing film. Like I think developing film is probably one of my favorite things to do. It's very stinky, but I do thoroughly enjoy it and love it. And I love the way film feels, but finding a place to keep it after it's developed and then keeping all the film before it goes bad and everything else is kind of a giant pain in the butt. So digital just became easier, especially doing film and stuff. It was just easier to kind of get a camera that did both. That one doesn't. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. Let me see. I usually carry my Fujifilm XF as a digital, and my take special shots. Oh, that's cool. I have like this medium format camera that I really love. It's very old and it's very silly, but it's one of my favorites. It opens like this. You look through that, and then you can take a photo. That's it. So then you have to hit the thing, and then it holds. It's very dusty. I haven't used this for a while, but I think everybody always wants a digital. Always wants a medium format. They make digital ones of these now, which is crazy. I saw one online actually. I thought about buying, and then I was like, I don't need that. I got all this extra stuff I don't use already.
See, look, my man's not even here.
Yeah, they're so expensive though. That's the only thing. I really wish I could develop more film, but yeah, it just costs so much. And it's hard to find places around here that still develop film is the problem. So, like I said, I got to do it. And then I got to figure out a place to do everything and set everything up. You need like a whole lab almost made up. And it's just not, it's not as conducive, you know? It's a little frustrating and kind of annoying at the same time to figure out how to, this thing keeps slowly dropping as I talk. Yeah, so it's kind of interesting. Are bigger film rolls more expensive? To develop them? Some companies charge you more. I know like I used to send my film off before I started developing my own. And typically it was more expensive to have someone develop a bigger film for me, but it wasn't it wasn't anything to develop it myself though. It's just the same amount of chemicals and stuff. So, and you have like with your rig basically to do all your chemical baths and whatnot. It was pretty easy actually. So, just that. If that's a good answer. Cinestill rolls. Oh man, Cinestill rolls are beautiful, but they cost so much money. So the fun thing I wanted to show you is with these, like I said, so I messed around with it. It's got all the stuff going, so I'm letting it sit for a minute and just kind of just go. It's a whole process, like I said, to do everything. And you can't overwork the paper. This paper is really good. This one is which one is it? There you go. Arches cold press. It's gotta be cold press. Yeah, cold press. What's that? Nice thick pad. I like to kind of just let it.
Oh, I also didn't want more harpies, so.
Is it all going to be in black?
That's
No.
right. There's no, please.
It is not all going to be in black, actually. I always like to do the ink first because it's one of those things that kind of changes the color of everything else. And then once that's done, then I kind of go with the rest of it. I have a really gothic style. You have a really gothic style, man. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that sucks.
I mean, I've just been a painter forever, so it's kind of the thing where you learn how your tools work, and then you can kind of screw with them however you want afterwards. But I always think it's really important to like know what's gonna do what beforehand, so that way you can kind of screw with it.
That.
Like there's that old kind of art school thing, you gotta learn the rules before you break them, type of thing. Ooh.
Yes, that's what I wanted.
What are you doing, man? I want you to see what I'm seeing right now. Tom. Psst. Yeah. Stop screwing with my easel. Just a mess, man. Just a tiny little mess. Screwing stuff. It's always screwing stuff. Crap, I gotta go. My bad, man. But good stream. And lots. And lol, that kid looks dangerous. Yeah, he thinks he is too. Cool, man. Have a good night. Thanks for coming through. I really appreciate it. My stand keeps falling. Keeps trying to fall over. There we go.
Oh, just a little guy. Look at that.
Having a good night, man.
So cute. Alright, let's
Screw with
see
the
if
smart.
not Super Saiyan Prometheus beats me up. Look at this edgelord. I'm wearing bandages and one of my hands is black, so I'm a really cool, scary guy.
She's playing Hades too, but it feels like she's. But she feels like she's making fun of us.
Don't you know I'm Prometheus? I'm terrifying.
My wife loves video games. She's very funny about it. Trying to think what I want to do. Alright, so I know what I want to do now. So that means I need to figure out how I'm going to do this.
Did I get you?
I'll be right back. I need water. And these.
But my hair is like, it's like moonlit wheat. What did she say? Like crazy. I'm dressed in silver and saffron. Girl, get out of here. Girl, bye. Alright, so that one. Then we get out of there. We stay in the middle. Ah! We didn't
What's up?
beat it this time.
Alright. Keep feeling like this thing is like dropping. Like there's not a way to fix it so it doesn't slowly lean down.
No, don't collect.
As it just slowly just kind of crumbles.
Why are these guys so big?
Ridiculous. All right. So I got these new inks that I want to try out. Sorry, new paints. I use so much ink all the time, I forget. I gotta figure out where the hell I put my mixing pallets. I had more. I have more, but I don't know where I put them. It's moving out of the way so I would have space. Hi.
I didn't pay attention.
I'm looking for my paint palettes. Give me a sec. I don't know where.
I couldn't find where my guy was. I lost my guy on the screen. I'm not using this well.
Gotcha. All right. So, I'm gonna save these for a different day. I'm gonna use my favorite paint in the whole world. A nice yellow from Winsor Newton. Like, amazing. It's like thick and creamy at the same time. Love it.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. But I don't think he's long for this world either.
I find it funny dude said I was gothic because I'm just
Oh
like,
my God.
you're not gonna be happy about the next thing I do. Here. I'll put our guy on here so you get something at least moving around.
He should hate them. I understand. I don't know how she could. It's weird that she can just be like,
I have literally so many brushes
oh,
that
this guy.
this gets kind of I'm like, oh, I gotta find a brush to paint with, and I'm like, there's like 47 of these things in here. At least, no, there's probably more than that. There's like at least several hundred paintbrushes here.
No, but
Not here, but
weird that she
all
can be
around.
like, well, you know, he stole from the gods, so he gets what he gets. But I'm also like, he brought mortals fire, which the gods seem to ultimately be okay with in the long run. I think it's kind of crappy that you're like, yeah, you know. I know I was Patrick Warburton on that. I'm a little way by Patrick Warburton. Yeah, but you know, it is what it is.
My wife is a bit of a Hephaestus apologist. I apologize.
Oh, what apologist? He's talking shade over there about me. I'm not an apologist for anything.
For all you sensitive Greek lore people, she's a Hephaestus apologist.
Hephaestus didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. My husband's calling me a Hephaestus apologist. Like, Hephaestus did something wrong. And I'm like, didn't he get, like, thrown off Mount Olympus for not being perfect? Like, that's not right.
He should have been better about it.
Terrible. Alright, time to face eldritch horrors on Mount Olympus.
I'll let that dry.
Not excited about that.
I think we're kind of stuck for right now. It's gonna take a while for this to dry. I used a lot of water. Probably shouldn't have used as much water. But thanks for hanging out with me for a while. We're here for like 30-something minutes.
Let's go.
Yeah. I'll keep you informed. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me. Have fun. Paint around. Ciao. Bye.